How you doing? Taylor from Sweet Southern Vapes here. So today I have got a nice little tiny mod. You can't really see it from there, and you can see it in my hand. It's not very big, but this little mod packs a little punch for what it's got. This is not something I would use for a dripper. Sub-ohm tanks are iffy. It just depends on what kind of coil you got. So like something like a 0.6 will probably work better on here. I've got a 0.4 coil on here in the Kaleido right now. It's working pretty well. I had the airflow cut off because I like warm vapes. I brought my cube over here, so whenever we do the table talk, I'll show you the resemblance, how small it is versus how big that is. And I mean, it's the Air 50 by Smokjoy, and it's really nice. It's compact. It's basically like an incognito. It's just that the tank is about the same size as the mod itself, so this Kaleido is about the same height, give or take. And I mean, it runs pretty well for it being so small and it only having a 13 mAh battery or 1300 mAh battery, which of course most people would know that's not very much. It doesn't last very long. I'll show you the different modes, but I do have it in bypass mode, which allows it to use the full juice of the battery itself. So it's kind of like putting it into a mech mode type. So it's like I'm using a mech mod right now with like maybe an 18350 battery, but I mean it runs pretty well. I like it. I don't really use the 50 watts much until my bypass mode completely just goes down to about 30 watts. Then I'll put it in 50. But if I use it in 50 all day, it doesn't really last that long, which is all right. The charging mode doesn't take long. It takes maybe an hour to fully charge, which is pretty good compared to my batteries. Now, if I throw them on the 2 amp charger, of course, my batteries are gonna take not as long to charge. They'll probably take about that long to charge. But with this, I wouldn't mind using as a backup vape, personally for my preference, but this could be for someone who's just getting started into vaping, or someone who just doesn't like the big production that these have, or someone that doesn't like having a big bulky mod. But for the most part, it's pretty nice. It's really tiny. Like it's so tiny. I wish I could give you something comparable to it, but I don't have anything other than my own mods. So let's go ahead and get down here to the table, and I'll show you what it looks like up close. Alright, and we're back. So with this thing, it's pretty small. I've got it right now in temperature control just to show you how high it'll go. I haven't really had time to fool with the temperature control. I don't like temperature control. I don't ever use that, but that's because I like to build coils a lot. I don't ever build with nickel or titanium. They're a little too difficult to me to build with personally. That's just me though. So you've got your minus and your plus button, and then you got your power button. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. You got the temperature on, you go 1, 2, 3, and then you got the choice to go to nickel, and then you've got titanium, you got stainless, and you got bypass mode. Now what's really cool about this bypass mode is it takes the full power of the battery that you have after it's already charged, and it'll read whatever. So basically it's like throwing it into mech mode, so like using a mech mod. So whatever power this battery has, you can just throw it into bypass mode and just use that all day if you wanted to. But once your battery, of course, starts getting about half dead, it won't really give you a good hit. Now, if you're using like a Kango Pro Tank 3, which is something that I'd probably throw on here, that'd be something someone starting out with, this would be the nice mod for them. But personally, this would just be a backup mod for me. I would rather use this over my IPVD2 because I don't want to have to worry about charging another battery to throw in here. I can just throw this on the USB charger before my batteries are about to die in my X Cube and go ahead and use this instead. So with that being said, my X Cube, here's my X Cube. It is roughly about halfway. So it's about half the size of my X Cube itself, and then with the tank on there, and I'm running the Aspire Kaleido, it's almost as tall as it with my tiny little Jabo indestructible atomizer on here, my little RDA. So I don't personally like using anything that's 50 watts, but if I do run this at 50 watts all day, it's not going to last me more than maybe 2 hours. So I don't really like this just because I'm not personally someone that uses a low wattage device all the time. I like a really, really warm vape. So this would be nice, of course, for someone to be starting out with like a starter mod, or someone who doesn't want a big bulky box mod like mine. I know a lot of people come into our shop and there's like, well, I want a new box mod, but I don't want something that's really bulky. Well, this would be something I would recommend, but not with the milliamp hours. It's only a 1300 mAh. It's not gonna last you that long. But with that being said, you can always just go to your car, throw it on the charger, and it would probably be charged within 2 hours, whatever. I mean, you can even charge it halfway and probably use it just fine. This battery will use until it's dead. So you can run it on 50 watts until it's like completely dead. It will tell you, oh, hey, look, battery's low. So it's a nice device overall. I mean, it's got all the temperature control modes. It's got the bypass mode, it's got the regular power mode, and it hits all the way up to 50 watts. This is the Air 50 by Smokjoy. So we will be carrying these soon. You can come by and get them. I'll probably post something on Facebook or Instagram whenever we do get them in. But this is just a sample they sent me to try out. I threw on my Clado on here and it was like, hey, why not? So I like throwing it about halfway open on the airflow because I like a warm vape. So that's gonna add a little restriction, so that's a little inconvenient to me. But if I were out of batteries in my X Cube, this would definitely work. I'd probably use it all the time. So let's go back up to FaceTime and I'll show you how she vapes. Alright, so we're back. Now, I've got this thing running at 50 watts. I want to show you what it looks like in full, quarter, and half airflow. I've got it in full right now. I'm going to go ahead and show you it. It's running 50 watts at 0.4 ohms. This is on the Clado Aspire. I mean, it produces pretty nice. I mean, you can see it produces a pretty nice cloud, but it's not my kind of warm vape. It's not my preference. Let me go ahead and show you at half. A little more production, a little more restricted on the airflow. It's not something I like. I'm gonna go ahead and show you quarter. This is gonna be a tight drag. It's a really tight drag, but it's a nice, really warm vape. That's what I like, because I feel like the warm vapes bring out more flavor. That's why I like my J-Bo so much. It's got a lot of airflow, but I have it cranked up to 105 watts, so it runs really warm, and that's what I love. So this would be something I definitely recommend to somebody that wants to get out of the box mod, or out of the Ego, sorry, and into the box mod. This thing is for people who don't want the big bulky ones, but they want the small little box mod that can produce a little more on something that they want to use, like a sub-ohm tank. So this would probably be something better for like a 0.6 coil or 0.8 coil. That would probably be something that would probably produce a little better. You wouldn't have to run it as high. You can run it between probably 40 watts and you'd be all right. So if you want them, we got them coming in, and I'll put it on Instagram and Facebook. You can either get them here or in the New Orleans location. All right, thanks for watching.